If there was one person that I'm going to listen to on this team, it's going to be Jason Kelce. Whether it's Jason Kelce, Fletcher Cox, whoever it is at this point. Okay, so at this, the pretty much the last game of the season, everything going down, there's a lot of speculation that the Eagles couldn't restrain themselves. There was a few players that couldn't restrain themselves, and they tried to get by and get the Doug Pederson like it was some whole thing that was going on. Like, there was a big, if something like that was going to happen, it would have happened on TV. Someone would have said something on TV. Someone would have took a picture of it. Somebody would have videoed it. The TV would probably, put the camera towards it. If that was the case, Eagles players had to be restrained from Doug Pederson's decision to put Nate Sudfeld in the game. Now, and when I hear Jason Kelce and his words that they knew that this was going to happen leading up to this game during practice that week, then I have to believe it. Now, there is some things I don't get. Like, the one thing I probably don't get is Miles Sanders, because he didn't know that Nate was going in. Maybe he just didn't know that Nate was going in early. Maybe he knew Nate was going in, but Nate was going in early. I'm not sure what it is. He seemed like he was confused. But let me tell you something. One of the most respectful guys on this team is Jason Kelce. Most respectful guys is Jason Kelce, and I would never, ever disagree with Jason Kelce and what he says, okay? If he says, this is like the god of the Eagles, okay? If this guy says something, you want to listen, okay? And, I knew that this was all just media-driven and just how it was made from the start. Like, that's how sad that is. It's just, that's the world we live in with this media. I mean, when Zach Ertz is crying at his press conference and he's like, oh, well, he's like, oh, I know you guys have a hard job to do. And it's like, you know what? No, they don't, because they swirl a lot of this news as well. So I don't feel bad for any of these guys that put this news out. But I do believe this from Jason Kelce. It just seems like it's all being thrown overboard because everybody wants to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, the most drama-driven franchise in 2020 going into the 2021 season. So all these guys that had to get restraint, Doug was, guys had to get held back for security and, get restraint from Doug Pederson. Players had to hold other players back. And I mean, give me a break. Like, if that was the case, we would have seen it on TV. And trust me, anything that happens on the sideline, they always say that. Anything that's reported would have been reported. Any pictures that were taken, I mean, whatever it was, something would have happened. No fans are fans. It wouldn't have mattered. We would have found out very early at something that there was evidence or proof of this happening. So I believe that most of these players, I don't think Doug has lost the locker room as much as everyone else thinks. I don't think Doug's lost the locker room. He should have lost the locker room weeks ago if that was the case. Okay, when you keep the same quarterback in for weeks and weeks and weeks, when other teams would pretty much bench their quarterback after week 4 or 5. Okay? I don't think Doug lost the locker room. Did he probably lose maybe a couple? Did he think, are there people in the locker room that maybe disagree? Probably, but doesn't mean they lost the locker room. Just because you don't agree with your head coach on something, it doesn't mean you lost the locker room. Like, just get with the program, guys. Honestly, it's the same thing. Like, I've done the same thing. I've played on every level of football besides the NFL, obviously, but I've disagreed with things that have happened with the team, but it's just another day. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, I'm not the boss at the end of the day. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much it. So, Jason Kelce speaks out, and, the media is blowing all this out because the Eagles have so much drama right now. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys later. Shake Squat, Falls 5. Peace out, guys. Peace.